My mom is still in very serious condition in the hospital, but she showed the first signs of regaining consciousness today. However, she's very, very weak. This is not like her previous falls, and it's really uncertain of what's going to happen next. But I'd like to thank everybody for their messages of concern. It's touching, and it means quite a bit to our family. And so thank you. And we'll see what happens next. Now, I'm going to read some of my mom's poetry. This is from a book called The Long Cold Evenings of Spring. And the work is entitled The Damp Hips of the Women. 2 weeks before the end of the war with Japan, I climbed with my mother and 4 of her friends up the path from the beach. Up the long aisle of shivering poplars, I remember spandex and paisley, expanding, contracting on the damp hips of the women, but it would have had to be some other fabric back in those edgy days of pale sunshine and fog, not spandex, but some sort of elasticized jersey, the air smelling of decay, effervescence, damp birth or death of the earth. One of the women walking with the arms of her orange cardigan tied into a broken-necked knot on one hip, making her oiled back even in an uneven and cocky orange apron worn backwards, its jaunty sway back and forth. And me with a river of sand embedded in the flowered crotch of my swimsuit, along with a deeper worm of wrong down in the divided pudge between my babyish thighs, my body feeling shivery, peppy, as if it could make me want to cry out, I love you, or I hate you. Or suppose I had startled the world by yelling out, hip! Would the women have waited then for 2 more hips to follow? And for the 2 hips that followed to be followed by a shy and frail hooray? Or I might have shamed myself utterly by crying out, breast! At 9, I couldn't imagine ever being anything but a lover of women. I loved the way they smelled, of the hurtful suction of their wet bathing caps, their earrings, pressed tight to their ears by their white rubber bonnets. Loved the way they kept swinging backwards into the river, sinking slowly back into deeper water to laugh like women in love. At the dipped coldness, loved their yelps of belonging laughter, loved the slits of winter-white skin that flashed from the tops of their brown thighs as they sat and smoked out on the end of the dock, and then bent over to cry out, helplessly caught in the adult pain of amusement, loved their nail polish and the sun-pale tan weave of their borrowed sandals and their bracelets' jingles, loved their lives. Somewhere beyond sky or river, they all are all still in their damp swimsuits and still all laughing and climbing up into the grove of excitable poplars, mounting the path in sprung single file. But no, it's before even that, the long afternoon graduating itself into twilight, while the fire is still holding out at the far end of the dock for a final low gossip, that last peaceful malice, wigwammed by towels, a last cigarette.